Good morning, everybody. This morning, okay, so I have to tell you I am a hot mess because I had to do something this morning that none of us like to do. But because it's brought up a conversation and a thought this morning that I wanted to talk to you guys all about while it was fresh in my mind. So when and stuff, I like to talk to you about that are talked about with me or things that I have experienced, questions that I have had, that kind of stuff, things that happen. So that is why this morning we had to put our beloved older dog while we knew he was sick because he had been losing weight and that kind of stuff. And, he got into the point where just knew it was time. We could tell that he just was not living the quality of life. But it also brought up, when I went into the vet's office this morning, a list of stuff that we could have done. Like we could have had him cremated. We could have had, a lot of things done. Okay. Region Iowa. So I just wanted to bring him home and burying him at his home. Okay. I don't know, that was to me. It's important to my kids, things. So anyway, so I just wanted to kind of bring that brought up a question, talking to my son went with me to help me because I can't lift the dog on my own. But anyway, we went and we had a conversation about that stuff. Okay. So he was just like, well, can we bury it on our property? And I said yes, because we live on a farm and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So brings me to my thing this morning, my conversation this morning that I want to have with you. But first things first, I want to let you know that you can win things here. Okay. Kind of stuff as well. Okay. It's a free one-on-one with me. You can ask me any questions about real estate. If you're looking for a real estate agent process, I can, give you some referrals. If you are just having some general questions about potentially selling, blah, 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 we can talk about that kind of stuff. But you can win with me here, okay? And all you have to do is whatever video you're watching, just like and comment. You can even do it on the replay if you comment on the video, and then I'll go back and I'll draw for those on November 15th, okay? So we're just going to jump right into it. After you can win stuff, we're going to jump right into it. So should I disclose my pets, where my pets are buried when I'm selling my home? Okay? Because this is a question I do get asked. Okay? So technically, no, you don't have to disclose it. Technically. Now, state, if you're watching this and you're not in Iowa, make sure you check what state, if your states have any other rules. But overall, technically, you don't have to disclose it, okay? However, I always say it depends on what is out there, okay, and where it's located. If once you have a buyer, one or two, depending on how many animals, how many animals you've had and the time you've lived in the place, if you have more than one pet buried in the same vicinity, I would make sure I would let the new homeowners know, like at least let them know that, hey, we buried our family pets over here in the corner, okay? So then that way, if they would ever be digging up a flower bed, or doing something, they would know that that is there, okay? So I would just say disclose it. You don't have to, but disclose it if you know, okay? The biggest, make sure that if you did bury them, that you've been deep enough, okay? we go, when we pass away and they bury our graves, we're 6 foot in the ground. So make sure that you're going deep enough that eventually the animal's not going to come to the top. Okay? Or if they dig down to put in a flower bed, they're buried deep enough that they dig them up. Okay? Um, the third thing, or just to say the fourth thing, the fourth thing is, if you are in doubt, ask your realtor and always disclose it. You know, it's always better to disclose it than it is to have them find a deal breaker. So I'm going to tell you a little something. So here in Cedar Rapids, this is one of my stories. I actually had sold to one of my buyers, and it actually was part of a crime scene where there had been a human body. Okay. So those have to be disclosed, just so you know, like if you have any kind of farm ground or anything, and if you have like a cemetery site, that has to be disclosed, okay? But the seller, which I felt bad for because he was actually renting the house to someone, so he had to disclose that had taken place. Now, personally, we didn't know where it was, but they didn't know where they had found it. They didn't want to know where they had found the body, any of that, and they were completely fine with it. You know, they were understanding. You know, it wasn't the guy's fault. It was a really nice home. They've lived in it now for several years. They have enjoyed the home, but yes, they knew. They just didn't want to know where. Okay, and been removed, so it was no longer there. So they just didn't want to know where or anything like that. Okay, so you know, those kind of things you do need to make sure you disclose, because some of these, they have little cemetery plots on them. Those do need to be disclosed. Okay, just so you know. So if you are in doubt, just disclose. Just always disclose. Okay, and then also excuse me, before you do any of that. Before you do any of that, you don't have any laws about where the pet can be buried, because there are certain places, like I know for a fact in California it's against the state law to bury. And I know there are some places around here that they have laws about if you live in town or you have acres, you can't bury anything. So make sure you always check on those before you do that, before you even decide to bury your pet there. You know, under maybe your cat's favorite spot. Make sure that you have checked that with your city ordinances and, you know, with your laws and everything, to make sure that you do have. Some places you have to have X amount of acres before you can do that, and you can only bury so much. Okay, so you know, just kind of, the thing is if you're in town, you're gonna want to make sure that you know where you're digging. Always. It's always a big thing. All right, so just make sure you always know where you're digging. Okay, so I hope you guys all got some good information with someone in your area. If you're not here, you can always let me know if you have any questions. I can do some research for you. That's not a problem. But yeah, always double check and disclose. Are in doubt, always disclose it. Okay. If you do like this video, I do ask that you go ahead and you click the subscribe button and you hit the bell. When you're on YouTube, will let you know that I'm on here live. If you're watching it someplace else, then go ahead, and link to YouTube is in the description. Hop over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button and the bell, and then you'll always get notified on YouTube. Okay? If you have questions about this, go over to my group. The link is in the description here as well. Go over to my free Facebook group, and we're talking about these kind of things all the time, but real estate kinds of things. We're talking about those, and we're talking about some motivation as far as certain real estate stuff and everything. So go pop over there. Mom Self-Discovery, Women Writing a New Chapter. That's the name. The name's probably going to be changing here soon, just because it's kind of, when it started, it was that, and now it's kind of coming target. So anyway, just pop over, hit the description, and always and pop over there, and we'll have more discussion like this. So anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys every day, 11 Central. I am a little late today because of everything going on, but I'm always on around 11. So you have an amazing day.